Hello, welcome to my video about motivation. This is for AQA, it's the second unit, which is for growing businesses. First of all, keyword motivation, what does it mean? Motivation is a desire or interest to do something. Okay, so effectively, if you're motivated, you're going to work harder, you're going to be more committed, you're going to be more dedicated, which is going to help the business. But the definition is the desire or interest to do something. There are two ways in which a business can motivate their employees. Okay, you could motivate them using non-monetary methods, or you can motivate them using monetary methods. Non-monetary is providing staff with non-financial benefits, i.e. so not paying them extra, not giving them money, while monetary is providing them with financial incentives. So if we look at non-monetary first, the first one is staff training. So you could send staff on the job training or off the job training. The advantages of this are that the staff will feel motivated because they'll feel valued. They'll feel that the organisation are taking an interest in them. Okay, they actually want to develop them, they want to improve them. The only kind of downside for staff training is what happens if you pay all this money on these courses and then they leave, and which is a bit of a concern for some organisations. Styles of management is another one in which you can motivate your workers. In terms of what we learn, we look at autocratic, i.e. the manager tells you what you're doing, and we also look at the democratic approach, so this idea that decisions are shared. You need to think, how will being told what to do affect their motivation? Perhaps in most cases motivation will probably drop off because people don't like being told what to do, they don't feel valued, they don't feel trusted. With the democratic side of management, the workers feel like they have a say, they feel trusted, they feel valued, and they have kind of extra responsibility. That's where it motivates them. Okay, when you look at fringe benefits, the definition of fringe benefits are perks of the jobs. Okay, those little extras that companies can provide them. So for example, if you worked in a gym, you might get a free membership. If you worked at a restaurant, you'd get perhaps a discount on the food. If you worked in a shop, you get a discount on the clothes products. Then it could link into perhaps you could get extra holiday times with certain organisations. So they're the kind of perks of the job. They might provide you a mobile phone, a laptop. So they are all perks of the job. They're fringe benefits. The reason it doesn't go under monetary is they're not actually physically giving you money for it. Okay, yes, they might be spending money on the item, but they're not actually giving you, the employee, extra money. So then we can look at monetary. When you're looking from the point of view of analysis and evaluation, one of the negatives is that obviously it's going to cost you money straight away, but then you have to balance it out against the kind of pros of it. So the first one is piece rate. Piece rate is where the worker is paid per item that they produce. Okay, so you're generally going to be using this in production, so the faster the worker works, the more they get paid. So the advantage is yes, the worker is producing more, they're more productive, but the issue with this is that the kind of contrast, the disadvantage is how good is that piece of work, how much quality has gone into it. So for example, the employee might rush the production of a table because they're getting paid per table, then the quality drops off. An hourly wage, workers get paid per hour and that rate is set. It's good in the sense that workers may be encouraged to stay longer, work longer hours, take up on overtime, but the kind of negatives is like, yes, you're paying them to do that overtime, but are they actually working hard whilst they're there? There's also a salary. A salary is the employee earns a fixed amount per year, and that salary is divided up over 12 months, generally over 12 months. For example, in teaching, we get paid a salary, so this means that each month I get the same amount of money goes into my bank account. The good thing about this is it's security. It's a little bit of status in terms of your salary, but the negatives are, if I stay and work until 10 o'clock tonight and another colleague leaves at 3:30, we still earn exactly the same. Okay, so it doesn't measure how hard you're working, it is a fixed amount. Larger companies look at something called profit sharing. This is this idea that however much the company makes, the employees would get a percentage of this. In terms of the advantages, it makes you feel more responsible. It makes you want to work hard for the business, because the harder you work, the more profits that you will get from it. The disadvantages are, what happens if the company doesn't make any profit? Also, if you're working in Tesco's and you're on the checkout, obviously a really important job, but do you feel what you do is going to have a direct impact upon the profits of the company? So sometimes you could feel a little bit detached from it. Bonus. Bonus is an extra sum that employees get for hitting a target. It's good in the sense that bonuses are given out once people have hit targets. When you're doing it, you have to make sure the targets are realistic. You have to make sure the targets are stretching, because if not, you're just giving people money just for making kind of token targets. With the bonus as well, it could leave a bit of a culture of competition, workers trying to undermine each other to make sure they achieve the bonus, and also as well, it's costing the business a large amount of money. The last monetary method of motivation is commission. Commission is where you're paid a percentage. Okay, so typically within sales, if you sold a house as an estate agent, the estate agent would earn a percentage of that fee, typically 1%. And you often find commission within sales. Estate agents is a classic example. You could also look at it from the point of view of a car salesperson. The positives are, the more you sell, the more money the individual makes, but also the more you sell, the more money the business makes, so that's a good thing. But perhaps as well, with commission, what happens if you're struggling to sell the products? What happens if the product isn't a popular product? And also, particularly in terms of customer service, some customers are put off by this hard sell approach, because from the point of view of the employee, they're just trying to sell the product. They're not maybe trying to provide a good level of customer service. So in terms of your exam, you need to remember motivation is the desire, interest to do something. You need to know there are non-monetary and monetary methods of motivation. Typical exam question could be, discuss which method of motivation a business should go for. In that case, you talk about the pros and cons, and then you conclude.